Welcome to Super Gamecast 2. I am your host, Bronson Fiore, joined by, as always, the awesomest duder in video games, Aaron Reynolds.
Sure am. Not very awake though.
I feel it, bro. Dude, I woke up like 10 minutes. Like, I want to wake up at 9 and, like, make a breakfast and, like, really be ready to go. I ended up waking up at, like, 9:45, having a piece of toast, and hopping on. So,
Yep,
you
that
know,
sounds about right.
that's normal for us, though, I guess.
Well, what was funny was I went into the weekend wanting to play. I was going to try and play a game as long as I possibly could, and I mentioned the number 24, as in 24 hours. I wanted to aim for that.
Okay.
And of course, I wanted to try aiming for that after a full day of work on Friday.
Okay.
And then after last week talking about how I could sleep at any time, I got home at 6 p.m., got into bed, and couldn't fall asleep for 2 hours.
Okay.
So I was like, fuck it. So then I went in and I started trying to play. And then, yeah, I got about, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 hours in and said, no, I can't do this anymore. I used to be able to do stuff like this.
Mm-hmm.
I can't do this
Yeah,
anymore.
like, for me, like, my hard cap is, like, 2 a.m.
Really?
Like, that's, like, if I get to 2 a.m., that's when I just start. Like, I can do it maybe, like, once, twice a year,
Yeah.
if I really like the game a lot. Like, WoW Classic, yeah, that was when I went hard. But yeah,
Sure.
like 90% of video games, like, 2 a.m. is when I'm like, I'm sleepy.
Right.
Um,
This got me to like 4 a.m. But yeah, at that point I was like, nope, I can't do this.
Can't do that straight shot. Yeah, I got Extra Life in a week, and I haven't done it for 2 years. I'm curious to see how that's gonna go.
Are you trying marathon?
I'm gonna do 24 hours.
Dude.
Like, yeah.
But you're starting from like the morning, like from like the moment you wake up, right?
No, actually, because we have. I'm gonna be starting at probably a little bit toward like 11 in the morning, probably.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, I mean that's what I did when I did that world record run a few years back. So.
Yes.
But yeah, so you played Death Stranding.
That's what I've been up to.
I failed to acquire Death Stranding.
From what I hear, yeah, it's been something for you.
Yeah,
Your relationship with Death Stranding is already weird.
Yeah, so like I was not excited enough for this game to go out, do the Friday hunt for it when I got out of work, or do a pre-order. I was just gonna, GameFly shipped it. It'll be in the mail on it'll be on the mail like Tuesday next week. Like, cool. But then like I like saw the reviews and I saw like the discussion. I was just like, fuck. I'll if I can get it on my way home, then great. If not, it's not the end of the fucking world.
Yep.
So I go and so that happens, and I proceed to go to the GameStop on the way home, and they're like, "Oh no, we completely sold out. Like at midnight, all pre-ordered. You should have pre-ordered." And I'm like, "Yep, good old GameStop. Can't just walk in, get a game on fucking release, at the video game store."
It'd be one thing if it's a small business, and the thing is, even when they're GameStop, I know that they are beholden to, publishers giving out only so many games. But let me tell you, I didn't expect, as many people to show up at midnight release for Death Stranding.
Yeah, like I was not expecting my friends list to be as wild over this shit as it is.
Yeah.
I knew like 2 people who got the weird baby edition.
Oh damn!
But you can still order those. They're like $200 on they're available.
What's that edition called?
I think it's just called the collector's edition.
Oh, okay. I saw someone walk away with that box. I was like, Jesus Christ! Good luck getting that home.
And then so there's that, and I was like, okay, cool, going home, whatever.
Yep.
Did my normal Friday night thing where I live streamed and I, ate food and chilled out, and it was a good day. And
Yeah.
then
Oh, it has the container too. Oh, damn. All right, I gotta stop looking at this.
$200, boy.
I don't need more crap in my place. All right.
I feel it. The only collector's edition this year there's only one collector's edition next year that actually no, there's two that really have me being like, fuck, that's cool. Is the Dragon Ball one,
Yeah.
and then you see that statue?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, that thing was fucking dope.
It's a
And
good
then
one.
the Last of Us 2. I don't know. I think the Kojima one's just too big and weird.
Sure.
My roommate got I talked to my roommate about yeah, maybe I should get it, and she's like, please don't. It creeps me out.
I mean, so yeah, and the thing is, I don't feel like I'm far enough to know everything about what's going on there, so I probably should hold off anyway, because maybe I'll feel really guilty about owning it. I don't know.
So, and then I wake up Saturday and I'm like, okay, well, I got errands to do today. Maybe I'll go pick it up then. So I go
Yep.
out and I hit a different GameStop. And they're like, nah, son, all out. We had some, if you would have came earlier in the day. I was like, fuck.
Yep.
So at that point I was just like, alright, do I want to waste time and gas and go to Best Buy and go here, there, and everywhere else? Or do I just want to wait for the mail?
Right.
And I was like, you know what? I gotta finish After Party. I have not touched Outer Worlds barely since we last talked about it.
Yeah.
I got shit to play, and you're already handling this and are chugging through it like a champion.
Yeah. Right.
So I can step off.
Yeah, and as December rolls around, I think you'll have the time to tackle all this.
Yeah, because I looked at that schedule and it's just like, man, after Star Wars, it is straight drop off.
Yeah,
It's
right.
like Star Wars, Pokemon. All right, we're done. Wrap it up. Which is great because Outer Worlds supposed to be like 50 hours. Death Stranding supposed to be like 50 hours. Star
Right.
Wars will be like probably a normal 10-hour campaign. But then Pokemon, is typically a long game if I end up enjoying it to finish it.
Longer, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Pokemon's usually good for a good 25 hours at least.
Yeah, right.
It's just will I enjoy this enough to want to do it is the question.
Yeah, it's a toss up at the moment.
Which that's on my rental list. And then of course I want to go back to Control, which is that supposed to be that's supposed to be like a 12-hour game, right?
It's a longer single player game, but yeah, it's not going to be
No.
crazy or anything like that.
No, so
I haven't been able to put any more time into that, but that's something I will do later.
no, when I heard that After Party was so short that I wanted to gun straight through it. Similar to
Yep.
what I did for COD. I'm going in reverse order of here, what stuff I can just knock out in a weekend versus stuff I have to put major time commitments into.
Right.
So yeah, there's that. So I guess what we should probably crack into Death Stranding.
Oh man. Okay.
I can tell my other two weird stories later.
All right.
So Death Stranding. What the hell is Death Stranding?
So,
What is
So
the plot of this? They never even shared the plot.
well, there are aspects of the story that I'm not quite grasping and not trying the hardest to grasp because I feel like the twist will be coming at some point. just the vibe I'm getting from everything.
The Metal Gear Solid 1, it's I'm just you're the dominant clone and I am the recessive one.
Yes.
And then later I was just do you know why? You enjoy all the killing, that's why. I'm just ooh.
It's Kojima. When you know Kojima's history, when you know he's been working on Metal Gear Solid, and he's big on the twists, and he's big on all this stuff, and then he's just become more and more emboldened as time has gone on, and now he's getting the attention of Norman Reedus and Guillermo del Toro and He's getting other actors to show up at parties and things like that and be in his friggin' games. You know, I wonder if he's like approaching this as this is the closest I'm going to bring my video games to like the casual audience that happens to own a system. Like this is the closest I have to a movie. What's the real Kojima trademark move here? And there's a few of them, but one of them I know is the twist. So
yeah, like you know, seeing the like, I'm very happy they was able to like go out there and make whatever the fuck he wanted with however much money he wanted.
So that's why my attitude changed on this game. Like leading up to it, I was like curious, very curious, but I knew so little that it didn't matter, and it was just a funny thing to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
As time got closer, I started looking at it being, you know, a lot of walking. It seemed, and I was like, okay, like all right. I don't know if there's more to this game, but that seemed right. And then I thought about it as you know the weeks got closer, and I'm like, that seems like a chill game. That seems like something you could put a podcast to, and then you walk around this world, and maybe that's all right.
Man, it's a shame that this game didn't have the iPod like Metal Gear 4.
Right.
Like that was a fun dumb thing that they had in that game, where you listen to like developer commentaries on the iPod while playing Metal Gear.
Right. Well, you know, I'm only, you know, 17, nearly 18 hours in, so who knows. Then we got about 2 weeks away from launch, and the reviews started coming out, and it was just weirdly divisive.
Yeah, like I have like everyone's literally. I could like make a Excel sheet of like reviews for this game, and it would literally be like, "Fuck this boring piece of shit," or "This is the best game of the year."
Right.
Yeah, and I'm just like, "The fuck is happening?"
Yeah, someone mentioned in a podcast I think that I was listening to is that it's been a while since a top high budget prominent game has been so divisive.
Like I saw a little bit in that in Red Dead last year, because Red Dead has a lot of the trademarks of this of being like slow and a little bit heavy-handed.
Sure,
but like not like this.
Right, exactly.
Not like this.
And so. And then, that's also due to Kojima just, like, sticking to his guns and being him and be like, you'll buy this because it's me. Literally, I mentioned it in the videos I've been recording, which will go up, sometime later. But, like, his name pops up in the, quote-unquote early credits, like, 5 times.
Well, it says it right on the box.
It says it on the box. It says it on the back of the box.
I think part of that's just sticking it to Konami.
Maybe.
Because Konami took that shit off 5.
Yep. Yep. But I also think that's just Kojima being him.
Yeah.
When I don't know. Anyway, so it was very funny. So anyway, I got just more and more curious, and it's like, this is a guy and then I like watched him to like social media and things like that. This is a guy who is, I think he's trying to send a message about the state of the world and the state of social interaction, and he's trying to say it through this video game. I'm sure some people will find it heavy-handed, but I'm curious to find out what Kojima thinks of it and how he interprets that in a video game format.
If I could get an interview with Hideo Kojima, I'd probably retire at that point. I'd be like, all right, well, career's not going up from here.
I hear he's not the easiest to interview either.
Yeah, which it's also weird because like, I've nearly met that man twice.
Mm-hmm.
But due to bad timing, I literally was like a foot and a half away from him, and I was about to end up, but then like he immediately had to go dip for business stuff, or like his like security team could see like, oh, there's a crowd starting to form, like let's dip. I'm
right.
So yeah, that my favorite moment with Hideo Kojima though, when it comes to like him at E3, is my first E3. He just walks by down the aisle, and our friend Bremen is probably the biggest Hideo Kojima fan.
Okay.
Like massive fanboy, has all the games, will buy every game he puts out within seconds of release.
Yep.
Um, and like Hideo Kojima walks by, and I'm like, oh shit, dude. Like I point out to Nick, and we're like, hey, Bremen, like, dude, did you see Hideo Kojima went by? And he's like, shut up. And we're just like, and this happens like 4 more times throughout the weekend.
Oh no.
And then, like, finally, we're out outside the convention center, and he's standing by the like big PlayStation greatness awaits display, and we're like, Rabbit, it's Hideo Kojima, and he looks over, and he's like, oh shit.
We were
And then,
fucking lying.
oh, I told you. It's been around all weekend. Well, it's just like how back in my another weird story from my first E3 is I had is like every single one of my appointments was like right after Andy McNamara.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the Game Informer EIC.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is getting weird. I've seen
Right.
this dude after almost every appointment. Um,
Oh Jesus.
so yeah, what is the story? What is the gameplay? Like, it's a walking simulator, I've heard.
There's a lot of walking. It's I don't know. It's kind of a hiking simulator, really, because dude, you better watch your step because there are rocks everywhere. So you're walking, but you're like you have to hold down L2 and R2 to like brace yourself. So because otherwise you're going to be tripping. You're just going to be tripping all of the time. And when you're carrying stuff, that's doubly so because you have to balance everything. It's a very weird thing. So okay, so beginning. Oh my god, the first hour and a half, 2/3 of that was cutscenes. So like when you
Check
start
out
the game, just be
Kojima
ready
game.
for just be ready for a movie with occasional interaction. And then there. So it's like establishing the world. It's establishing some of the characters. It's weird in multiple ways. How do I describe this? Because I also don't want to like necessarily spoil too much because it's just fun to go out and experience it. But so the game itself, what the game is you grab packages and you take them from one spot to another. And it's basically just stacking those on your back or on your suit. You have little metal things to hold on to, like an individual container on your biceps and on your thighs, and then the rest goes on your back. So you strap it all on. I was thinking you would have to do some like Resident Evil 4-esque, Tetris your containers together on your back, but actually you just hit triangle and it just automatically does it for you. It's like, oh, okay, cool. To get the most efficient stack, and then you head out and you just, at least at the very start, you just walk. And so, you're walking. The weight of your containers can throw you left or right. So if it starts throwing you left, you have to hold down R2 to try and move them back right, and same, left-wise. If you don't, then you'd start doing that tumble thing where you're like, you've fallen too far forward and you're kind of running, but basically just to stay on your feet. Then if you don't, you fall, and then maybe you lose some containers. They just like fall off, and some of them become damaged, and it's like, ah, shit. So you do that, and then you just basically just walk, and you try to find the easiest path around all these mountains in this just giant map.
So my next question is, of course, going to be is like, so I've heard it's a walk across America to reestablish
Yep.
society.
So you're related to someone. Okay. This happens early on in the game. You are related in one way or another to the president of the United States, but the
Okay.
United States are over.
Wait, what? Why are they over? Does it say?
Because of the Death Stranding, I'm guessing, which is the event that blew everything up. There are some logs. I've been holding off on them because I just wanted to try and run through them, but I'm going to be sitting and reading a bunch of logs at some point here to learn more about what's going on. But Basically, so something happened that has made the realm of death sort of a reality, and everyone has what they call a beach, which is sort of like this area between life and death. I'm not describing it the best because it's it's just a weird thing. Anyway, if you die, um, your soul can try to, now with this new realm going on, your soul can try and come back to this rotting body, which then becomes this terrible enemy that is like sort of resides in another realm, I guess, because it's sort of see-through. And you'll see it, in the clips. It'll be invisible, but it's walking on the ground, and it walks in the form of like handprints filled with black ink, which I read somewhere. It's like they're trying to reestablish a connection with the living, is how they described it. So anyway, a lot of people died, and some nuclear bombs went off because a terrorist group took advantage of the government, and a business called Fragile was helping deliver products between cities. So now, as a part of the UCA, which is the United Cities of America, you are going from city to city and trying to persuade them to join the UCA so that you can establish the chiral network, which is a way to, I guess, send data back and forth, kind of like an internet sort of thing.
Okay.
And but you have to walk across, and just establish these cities. Your sister, your relative of some sort, who is like the new president, is stuck in like LA or West Coast because the terrorists grabbed her.
Okay.
And they're not doing anything to her, but they just want to keep her alive, which I find, I don't know, I find it weird because there's clearly the government is sending me to go get her. So what are the terrorists up to? As far as I can tell, the terrorists are led by Troy Baker. I ran into that guy once, and he looks cool as hell. And I think you may have heard this already. He basically looks like Space Egypt.
I have not heard anything about this, actually.
Oh, okay. Troy Baker's guy, his name is Higgs. He seems to be a leader, if not the leader, of this terrorist group, and he looks like if a Destiny character was like Egyptian themed.
Okay, then.
Yeah, like a warlock. And anyway, so you just travel from city to city. You're doing missions. You got your story-based missions. You have your missions based solely for Sam. You have some just standard orders, things like that. And I have one that's sitting right now that eventually I'll get back to. That is a pizza delivery.
That's
There's
awesome.
someone's a real big fan of me and would love to have a pizza delivered by me. And I don't want to do it because, one, there's a time limit. You have to do it in 30 minutes. And two, you have to keep it horizontal because it's a pizza. If you tip it over, like it starts falling off and it ruins the pizza. So, like, I don't know how sensitive the tilting is. Maybe I can't get on my motorcycle and drive because then it'll tip over. So that's basically what's going on. Now, here's what I'm enjoying about Death Stranding, and what Kojima was getting about when he talks about the new Strand genre. It's basically just making the journey, running into people, but more specifically, more like Demon Souls, Dark Souls, leaving signs for people and things like that, making that into a larger mechanic into the game. So it's basically, how I would describe it is a cooperative single-player game where everyone is working together to build bridges and build generators and safe houses along these roads, and you're all contributing resources. You don't necessarily see each other or anything like that, but you all have these same landmarks. You're sharing a world with a select number of people, and I assume the same landmarks, and you're just building the world together as you go along, which is it's actually really cool. I really enjoy it. I spent a good 5 or 6 hours last night. Like, I should have been doing a mission, but I'm like, I'm going to build this road. I'm going to build this section of road, because if I build this section of road, it'll be permanently, mostly in my name, and then people give me likes. So you can like people's creations, like, as a way of saying thank you for making this thing, and then you get those likes, and it ups your reputation. And people see that reputation in the form of a star next to your name, and so it's like, I'm contributing, basically, is the feeling that you get. And so I have like a level 3 generator that plays music when you go and charge your bike or whatever next to the road, and I get likes. I get likes for someone using it, and then you have the option as a player to give me a bunch of likes for it as well. So it's a very interesting game. I really enjoy the social light aspect, where I'm not actually talking to anyone. The closest you get to interacting with someone is you can press the center button to call out, and then someone will technically call back. They all respond at the exact same time after I hit my center button, so I'm thinking it's automated to an extent. But it's a way of just interacting with the other people that are in your world, and it's fun. People are setting down signs. People will like jokingly go into a base and set down a "Don't pee here" sign, which I'm sad to say I have not found a reason to pee anywhere.
Just because, bro.
Just because. I have a suspicion it's so I can, if I pee, and maybe it'll grow mushrooms eventually, and which creates microbiotes, which if you eat those, they're little floating bugs, and if you eat them, they restore your blood levels, which you use your blood as bombs and bullets in this game.
The fuck?
Yep. Because so there's at this moment, I think the list will grow as I continue on to this game, but at the moment where I'm at, there are 2 enemies. So the first are BTs, which I've mentioned. They're dead people who have been trying to come back and are trying to feast on other people, I guess. I don't know. Again, some of this still is getting lost on me, but they are sensitive to your bodily fluids. And because you're a repatriate, you, like, as in Norman Reedus, are very specific, very special, as they like to call you. And just for whatever reason, they don't like touching your blood. So they found a way to draw blood from you while you're sleeping in their private rooms, and then they turn those into grenades that you can throw at BTs, and then when it explodes on them, they dissipate. Which was really cool when we first did it, because the beginning of the game establishes them as just this terrifying, awful experience. Like, the very fact that they're around is just the most horrifying thing you can imagine. And then they try to teach you to sneak through them, which is terrifying, again, especially for someone like me who doesn't enjoy stealth games very much. I just suffer through it because I enjoy Kojima's games. But surprise, there's more stealth. But so you have the BTs, and you use the blood stuff for that. Then there are the mules, who are porters, which are transporters, couriers like you, who got replaced by bots when society advanced, and then they said, "Well, I have nothing to do. Give me my job back." And then they are given their jobs back as porters because they don't want drones or bots to replace humanity's work. And then like something develops where they feel like society doesn't work without them, man. And the way they describe it is they're addicted to retrieving and delivering cargo. Which is weird, and still don't quite understand what that means or why.
Okay.
Yep. But they just like steal people's stuff, and so if they see that you have things on you, they come after you and they intend to beat you down so that they can take your stuff back to their place. For no other reason than they just like having the stuff.
Oh,
Uh,
shit.
oh. Ah.
Sorry.
So, but those guys are just normal guys. So I tried to avoid them as much as possible. But then when you realize that they're just normal guys, you have a strand, which is basically just a rope. You Hitman style fight them with this rope, and you can parry and knock them down, knock them out. I haven't killed anyone yet in this game. I've attacked a bunch
That
of
is a
mule people that are
weird
coming for me.
thought, but
Yep.
also that actually totally checks out for a Kojima game.
Right. The closest I've gotten to killing someone is I took one of the mule's trucks and I ran it into their base and I hit someone. But I don't know if that killed them or not. It didn't really say. But it is a crazy game. I'm in the middle of America right now. What's his name? Oh yeah, the guy who's helping me out, who's up high in the government for United States of America. Dude in a black suit with a black skull mask that, as far as I can tell, is not removable.
Is that dead? Is that the dead man I'm hearing about?
No, that is Die Hardman.
Gotcha.
Die Hardman is the one. So Deadman is the guy who helps out. He helps out in various ways. But anyway, he's the guy who Guillermo del Toro lended his likeness.
Okay.
I want to say they got someone else for the voice because he speaks a lot to the point where, like, I don't think Guillermo del Toro has this kind of time, but okay.
Maybe. Who knows?
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe
I
he just
don't know.
really liked the idea.
Yeah, exactly. I also didn't think he would speak English that well, but he has, like, a Spanish accent to him, so I don't know.
I do say I will say that this tweet came around about dialogue in Kojima games that seems absolutely true from what you're telling me.
Okay.
Guy, so you dialogue in Kojima games. Guy, so you like eating corn dogs? Corn dog man. Yes, I love them. Guy, and you make corn dogs. That's right. So why do they call you corn dog man? Let me explain. 15-minute cutscene on the history of corn dogs.
Well, so unless I missed it, I know absolutely nothing about Die Hardman, and he gives me the creepiest vibes because he speaks to you all the time. He's very helpful, very complimentary. He's encouraging you to help to get through the country and connect everyone through the chiral network, and the whole entire time he is talking to you through this black robotic skeleton mask, and I'm like, you're being very nice, but I can't ignore this thing on your face that says otherwise.
Maybe that's what maybe they're trying to create a little bit of separation.
Maybe, yeah, I don't know. Then also it could just be Kojima being weird, and I'm totally okay with that. It's the cool kind of weird if that's what it ends up being. Deadman, I can't describe what does in full, but right now his importance to me right now is that he's doing research on finding the history of BBs, which I haven't even delved into BBs yet. BBs are fetuses, I guess babies, but basically fetuses, like late-term fetuses that they hold in a womb-like state in that little glass jar that you've seen, if you've seen, the advertisement for this game, that is connected to your apparatus, and with that you can detect BTs around you. But so it creates this really intense moment where you'll wander into an area with BTs. The BB starts crying a little bit, and then you have this little, this little arm that kind of like lets you know what's nearby, and you basically play this game of like hot and cold. Like, all right, how close is this? All right, it's cold because it's not flashing very much. Oh, it's flashing a lot. That means it's very hot. And so that's how you get through like the stealth areas where you have to just go around BTs. Is with this baby or BB, sorry. This don't get attached. These aren't living things. They are tools. Uh, Despite the fact that you interact with them, and then if you fall, the baby starts crying, and so you can soothe BB and uh, correct, cradle it back and forth to make it laugh. And uh, I'm very worried about what's going to develop with the BBs, because of what little I've heard about BBs from people who played late in the game. They're just kind of over the game after finding out some of this stuff. And so
I was about to say, those just seem like a setup to some horrific shit.
Yep.
And I'm curious.
Well, so the setup already is that they refer to their mothers as still mothers. They're like women who I guess have died, but somehow have a connection, some sort of connection to these BBs. And what's great and constantly foreshadowing is that you will emerge from your private room up to the area, the terminal, the distribution center, or whatever, to go out and get your packages. And during certain points, the BB will send you visions of what looks like you as a BB. You're from the BB's point of view, interacting with Mads Mikkelsen's character, who we don't have a name for yet because we don't know who this person is yet. But it seems like what it seems like is his girlfriend or wife is the still mother to this BB. That's what it seems like so far. And he's trying to take care of the BB, but I don't know. I have not seen many. I've seen a bunch of clips of this guy, but not a lot has actually happened. It's just been, he seems like a cool guy, but something tells me he's the bad guy. I don't know. It is such a weird game, and I'm still going through it. And
I look forward to hearing more.
It's a lot of walking, far and away. There's just a bunch of walking in certain spots. If you have been working to help develop a road, you eventually get to the point where you can buy a trike, or it's a motorcycle, and you can just drive it to a certain extent, which is super nice. One thing that's been annoying is that each station has a private locker for you to throw your stuff in, but none of that is shared. So if you drive from one point to a point, a bunch of, a huge distance away, and then you store your bike there, and then for whatever reason the story takes you somewhere else, the only way to get your bike back is to, one, build a new one, which actually isn't that hard, or go back to that specific stop and retrieve your bike. You basically are just storing everything everywhere, which means you got to be careful if you store something that you may need later. Write that down, because you will forget where it is. But yeah, I am really enjoying it, and part of it is the wonder of what the fuck's going on? What is happening in this? I still don't know. I'm nearly 18 hours in, and I feel like there's a lot more going on. I've had one boss fight, which just introduced the leader of the terrorist group, as far as I know, and that was it. But there's a lot more to figure out, and I'm excited. That's probably exactly what I'm going to do as soon as this is over. Is I'm going to start playing again.
Okay then.
Yo, dog, you like walking?
Kinda.
It's a damn pretty game. I've been playing on a base PS4, and you can kind of tell in some spots, but it is a beautiful game where I'm walking around and you'll just be looking at mountains and things like that, and sometimes music will play, and Kojima's gotten this soundtrack together that's gives you some slight Red Dead vibes, but it's obviously not like acoustic guitar, Jose Gonzalez, Iron and Wine. It's more chiller, modern music, as in a little more electronic instruments and things like that. But I'm into it. I'm going to be walking a lot more, driving a lot more, building roads, upgrading generators, Um, yeah, that's the plan. Keep going west.
All right. Okay, so that's Death Stranding. We're obviously going to hear more in the coming weeks.
Yes.
If we might be able to do a spoiler cast for that one, depending on how fast we can get through it, and I can get through it in particular.
Yep.
So I played. So that's been kind of the big release this week. But I did play an indie game that came out last week.
Right. What was that?
After Party,
After Party.
the new game by the folks over who made at Night School Studios, who made Oxenfree.
Okay.
The whole story is you and your friend. So you play as two best friends,
Okay.
Lola and Milo,
All right.
and you're just about to and you just graduated college, but then you died,
Ah.
and now you're in hell.
Ah.
And you think, okay, an eternity of torment, but hell has a loophole.
Mm-hmm.
Or hell has a couple of interesting bits to it. One, it's like a 9 to 5 job. You get tortured from 9 to 5, and then can go. You're free to do what you need to do, unless there's
Okay.
like extra punishment for you.
All right.
And then the second thing is oh god. And then the second thing is there is a loophole to getting out of hell.
Okay.
You need to beat Satan in a drinking contest.
Okay.
So you play you have a team game of beer pong,
Nice.
and then you have stacking.
All right.
But first you need to go get at least 2 seals from his brothers and or sisters, and beat them in drinking / partying contests to win.
All right.
So you go around this like it's very humorous. It's this hyper stylized, brutal legend-esque world, and you walk around, you talk to people, and you know they're like, oh man, I'd love to help you get into the Satan you get into Satan's party, or I'd love to help you beat so and so in a dance off, or help so and so with this. But first, I need you to go do this or set up this. It's very old school adventure game in that way.
Okay.
In fact, my primary problem with it is like the gameplay is kind of just dialogue choice, walk around, dialogue choice, walk around, go pick something up, occasional rhythm game.
All right.
So if you do not come to this for gameplay, you are here for a story that's really well told and entertaining and kind of cute. I really enjoyed like when I beat the game. It's like, oh, your whole team is free to go back to Earth. One of the people on my team was a demon.
Nice. Wow. Great.
And at
Way
the
to
end,
go.
and at the end of the game, like the demon was just like, you're on opposite ends of the country, Milo and Lola at this point, because part of the whole narrative is like, yes, getting out of hell, but also like their future and their friendship,
Yeah.
and about how like Lola wants to go across the country, work for a nonprofit. Milo wants to stay at home and like help his mom out and work for and like open a magic shop.
Okay.
And the demon goes to live with Milo, and it's just like, hey Milo, like we don't have any more. How do you get the rabbit to stay in the hat? And I'm just like, oh my god, that's amazing.
Sure. Great.
Another bit with it is the personal demon.
Okay.
Sister Mary Wormhorn. So at the beginning of the day, you get assigned a personal demon for your off time. And what this personal demon does is it just brings up horrible ways that you fucked up throughout a level, or did horrible things, or it brings up stuff from Milo and Lola's past.
Oh.
And it's just like, hey, remember that time when you were in like middle school and you were in that play and you embarrassed the living shit out of yourself?
Okay.
It's just stuff like that. Just your anxiety
Great.
Uh, so
Uh,
it's really great to see just a human's anxiety made into a character. It's fucking hilarious. Like, hey, I'm here to torture you. Remember this? Remember that? And
yep.
like it just rips on the two characters the entire time. And then like at one point, one of the demons gives you a drink that causes Milo's subconscious to become, or not his subconscious, his conscience to become
Mm.
a separate person. And like the anxiety finds it attractive and like starts hitting on it and takes it to like the VIP area of a club. It's just, oh god, like it's so charming and funny and it looks great. But there are some problems with it. The first is, like I said, lack of gameplay. Like if you're looking for anything that's related to like a deep puzzle or deep mechanical experience, this game is not it.
Right.
And at least on the PS4 slash PS4 Pro, I have had performance issues. Like a lot of hitching when transitioning from area to area, a lot of hitching when you're on the boat, driving from area to area. Just like random, just like up, stutter, 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 and back to dialogue. You know? So yeah, I don't know. Generally, so I got it. I pre-ordered it, so I got it for $15. If it's $20. Like for a 5 hour experience, it's certainly not bad.
Sure.
But it's also one of those things where like I definitely could see you waiting for a Steam sale or a PSN sale.
Okay.
So yeah, that's not bad. Charming, very funny, very funny.
Good.
The entire time I was fucking laughing at different jokes.
Man,
Um,
that's great.
yeah, and also there's a couple of scenes in the game that like are really good setups, especially the beginning. So
Okay.
also Satan is voiced by Dave Fennoy, Lee from The Walking Dead.
Oh my God, that's
Yeah,
great.
yeah, and he plays up the role real well. Also, Satan is a alcoholic. Like towards the end of the game, like his friends and family do an intervention.
Oh, wait, so hang on. So all right, so torture's 9 to 5.
Yep.
How does that work? What's going on in there?
All kinds of stuff like like just get whipped and lashed the entire time.
Yeah.
Get like that. They actually go over some really horrific tortures. Like they mention them in just casual passing. And
Everyone's just like, all right, we're done.
yeah. Well, no,
5 o'clock.
they even joke about that. Like what? Like Milo's like, why is torture? It's like it's not for you. It's for the demons. Do you know how hard it is to whip someone for 8 hours straight? You'll be if you did that, you'd be wishing you were the torturer. So
Jesus.
yeah, no, it's I had a good time. I'd recommend it to most, but definitely like wait for it to filter out a little bit.
Sure.
It's apparently coming to Switch eventually.
Okay. Well, that sounds like a good Switch game. And yeah, if there's not anything coming out that's necessarily grabbing you, maybe After Party.
Yeah, for sure. And it's one of those small indie studios, so support. So that's why I also felt good buying this. I was like, yeah, small studio.
Yep. Cool.
Yeah.
I may check that out at some point.
Yeah. No. If you like Tim Schafer style experiences.
That's what I was gathering was kind of like that. So
Yeah. So. Other than that, Call of Duty multiplayer, I continue to see that game continues to be fun, but I also continue to see its problems,
okay,
in which more and more people are figuring out the camping thing.
right. Yep.
But on the other side of that, they just put out a new map that's less of that. But the problem is it is only one map.
I see. Huh.
So
Okay. Well, people. It sounds like people are still playing it. Let me tell you, all this talk about Modern Warfare and seeing like gifs of the gameplay and all that, especially multiplayer. I've been seeing a few clips of Battlefield 1 going around. Did I miss the boat on that?
You've seen a few clips of what?
Battlefield 1.
Battlefield 1 came out like 2 years ago.
Right. I guess I'm wondering if there's still an active multiplayer
Oh,
there because
all the old Battlefields still have people playing it.
okay, because it
Like
just seems nuts what's going on in that
like
game.
yeah, like I've played a lot of Battlefield 1, and like I went to matches like 6 months ago. There's still people playing it. Like I'll install it on Origin and see how it's doing.
All right, because
Um,
like I'm seeing, Modern Warfare looks cool, but also, yeah, you got your camping issues. There's the guns, and I can't imagine Battlefield's much better. But Battlefield 1, what I'm looking at is just a lot of chaos. Just everything's going on all of the time, um, and that's it. I liked Halo because it was a place to just run around and you didn't die immediately, so you could just be jumping around and doing a bunch of weird stuff. Um, but there's also been uh, clips of gameplay from Battlefield 1 and also a couple other games where it's just chaos and everything's going on, and maybe you die a bunch, but that's okay because you jump right back in and there's chaos in front of you again, and uh, that's the kind of experience I'm looking for. But I'm avoiding Modern Warfare because those kinds of games, it's just like watching clips of people getting shot, 2 or 3 times and then dying. It's like, okay, I don't think this is for me. But
that's
a lot of people are into it. A lot of people are into it, and that's totally okay.
I will say one big thing that they added two new maps two new free maps this week. One for ground war, one that's more of a traditional 3-lane Call of Duty map.
Okay.
But the problem is, it's like, okay, now you just have to wait to get that map.
Oh yeah.
When like, because matchmaking's random, you don't pick maps, so.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's been Call of Duty. Yeah. No. So that's about it. What we've been playing, standard World of Warcraft stuff.
Yep.
For me, you know. Any Final Fantasy 14 for you? No.
No, it's been I've been working. I've been working on a couple ideas for projects and things like that, and then Death Stranding.
Righto.
And then I've got Pokemon coming up next week, and I don't know how I'm going to deal with that.
Okay. Well, I got two news stories. One that is related to video games. One is not. We'll get the one that's not out of the way.
Okay.
Well, these are not the only news stories of the week. These are just two that I felt needed to be discussed. One is how humanity, in its hubris, is killing itself. The other one is people in Fallout 76 are, well, they're people playing Fallout 76.
Gotcha.
So, hey, KFC.
Hey, KFC. I worked there for like a few weeks.
Did you really? I never heard about this. Tell me.
Well, because I hated it.
Tell me about this KFC times.
Oh, I don't know. Everyone there was just trying to get their jobs done, and we were trying to move quick, and I was on the assembly line trying to put food together. And as someone who doesn't eat chicken very much beyond, like I eat a lot of chicken, but I'm not like grabbing legs and breasts at a KFC. Like assembling all of that was like a different language to me.
Yeah, like I eat a lot of grilled chicken, but I don't eat like a lot of fried chicken. Like, it's not a big to do for me.
Right. Well, so for a few weeks we were trying to do that, and then the person who was running it was just always kind of in a bad mood, and it just kind of permeated throughout the whole. So I would only work there for like 3 hours at a time because that's all the hours that they would give us, which meant I had to go look for another job anyway. But during those 3 hours, it was just miserable. So. I don't know. KFC, let me tell you, we did get, some KFC food from time to time, and that was all right. But I haven't eaten at KFC ever since, so there's that. Fast food work. It's not fun, and I don't envy anyone who has to deal with it.
No, not at all.
I'm always very nice to the people that work at fast food places.
I will say that I didn't work at KFC, but I did have an experience. So I always forget about the quality of KFC food, but I remember liking it as a kid. But then, like, every time I eat it as an adult, like, the perfect example, last time I had it was, like, 4 years ago. I took a bite of, like, they're like, I was like, oh, yeah, maybe we'll split a bucket and get some sides. And, like, I immediately took a bite of it, and I'm like, oh, oh, no. This is
Yeah.
made of grease and hate.
I enjoyed their mashed potatoes and gravy at a time.
I will say I still enjoy their mac and cheese. Their mac and cheese is the bomb. Like
Sure.
it's still really good.
And then like the big thing I always went to KFC for was popcorn chicken.
Yeah, that is still good.
Yeah.
I will get down on some popcorn chicken.
As long as they're doing
But
that right,
but
then
for the most
whatever.
part, nah, I'm good.
I don't give a damn about your 5-piece dark, light, what mix or match of pieces in your damn bucket. Just
Because it's mostly grease and horrible.
take it, and go.
If I want so I can tell you how you get the best fried chicken.
Okay.
I can tell you. All right.
All right.
This is how you get the best overall fried chicken experience.
Okay.
You take the chicken from Chick-fil-A.
All right.
You take the sauce from Cane's.
Canes?
Cane's, Raising Cane's.
Okay.
It is it's not the biggest chain, admittedly.
Sure.
So you take the sauce from Cane's, and then after you take those two things, you go get your sides from KFC and from Popeyes. And then that's how you have the perfect chicken experience.
All right. All right.
They all do different things well, but that in my opinion is how you have the best overall chicken experience.
Sure.
Chick-fil-A does have good sauce though, but it's not as good as Cane's, admittedly.
I see.
So,
Yes.
there's that. But I want to talk about this KFC thing here.
Right. I want to hear about the KFC thing.
KFC has started serving donuts in certain locations.
What?
Yeah.
Why?
But, because what I'm about to get to that.
Okay.
Because we are a species not meant to last.
I mean, yeah. Yeah.
We are a
I'm
species.
sorry. My mind just went to a few Death Stranding quotes.
I
when
just
you said that.
I just always think of Jurassic Park of just like, your science said we can do it, but should we do it? Every time, that's immediately what I think of. That's immediately what I think of.
Yeah.
That's immediately where I go. But there's a second Final Fantasy 14 news story that I actually want to pull up related to an obese chocobo.
Okay.
But I'll get to that in a minute.
Yes.
So they're selling donuts, and they have a donut menu now. But now they're going to have a chicken and donuts menu item at 40 locations throughout Virginia and Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay.
They're testing it out. There's an option at best that pairs chicken on the bone or chicken tenders with 1 or 2 donuts. And this is the best one.
Okay.
A chicken sandwich. I hope you know where I'm going with this.
I don't. Okay.
A chicken sandwich
Uh-huh.
where the buns are
No.
donuts.
No. No. I mean, I don't know. I'd try it, but no. Like, they're two things I think, but together?
I mean, like, people eat chicken and waffles. Like, I totally eat chicken and waffles, but that's a different thing.
Yeah.
This is... Oh.
So, like, my taste buds suck. They've never been very good. Like, I've never been good at differentiating certain tastes between each other. So when people say, like, this is a good mix of these two foods, like, this is why I tend to eat, like, single ingredient foods. I'm not going to make a big giant meal to get this concoction of flavor, because to me it doesn't necessarily come together.
Okay.
At least when I do it. So when I hear this, I'm thinking, like, I'm going to bite into this, and I'm going to taste chicken, and I'm going to taste donut. They are not going to mix at all. They're going to be two things that I like. How... I I just don't see anyone going into this being like, "Oh, this is amazing. I can't ever go back. This is going to be on the menu of every bed and breakfast across America."
Like, here's the thing. One, I'd try it, but as I've said, I'm a disgusting animal.
Here's the important question. What's the price? Do we not know?
All right, hold on. The sandwich is priced at $6.
The sandwiches?
Or a combo for $8. Also, a customer can add a donut served hot to any meal for $1.
Who was thinking donut chicken combo?
Like, I understand chicken and waffles, because that's a thing.
Yes, that's a thing.
I want to know who in their corporate office was like, donuts.
You know what's popular around here is Dunkin' Donuts. What if we took that away from them? Like, I don't. Are they trying to compete with another chain that they feel like is taking away business from them? Do they think it's just a weird quirk that'll get people talking on social media?
Yeah, I feel like this is just a social media play. Like, it has to be it. Like just, and I just think the Jurassic Park thing, just like you thought it, you realized you could do it, but should you?
Right.
Now,
yeah.
Maybe people were shocked by KFC and donuts. This concept isn't new. Dough Right Donuts and Chicken chain in Chicago serve similar, as does Sam's Fried Chicken and Donuts in Houston. Yeah, but those are like local establishments. Those are
yeah, exactly. You save the weird stuff for the local establishment that has like one, maybe two locations in a city.
This isn't like KFC big boy chain.
Right. As long as it's Kentucky Fried Chicken. I feel like there's a standard here that has to be met.
Yeah, well, first off, Colonel Sanders actually hated KFC. Like,
I've heard of that.
Once corporate took over, and would go across the country in his fucking white Cadillac. And go behind the counters and teach and say that's not my recipe and teach them how to properly make chicken.
That sounds great.
I am not kidding you. I will link you to the news story on this.
Jesus Christ.
I
don't know, man.
I mean,
yeah, I'm not going to KFC ananyway right now too much.
God, no. I've been in years, literal years.
Yeah.
And now that I have like I have 3 good chicken alternatives. Like, if I really want fried chicken, I have Cane's, I got Chick-fil-A, I got Popeyes, all in the city. Why the fuck would I ever go to KFC?
Right. Well, for your chicken donut combo, bro.
That's what's gonna get me in the door.
Yeah.
If this
no one else has that.
If this thing's in both our towns, we should try it on air.
Oh God.
You gotta find a way to keep it hot on the way home is the problem.
Yeah.
I
don't know. I have a thermos-ish lunchbox for my food.
Yeah,
lunch.
I need to get one of those. I'm one of those people that just takes plastic bags to work and throws it in the fridge.
Yeah, there ain't nothing wrong with that.
All right. Well, this is another news story that's related to gorging yourself. Because I thought of this and I remember this right as we were talking about it.
Okay.
The people who are watching the video version can see me pulling up the story and searching it.
Yep.
All right. So, everybody loves getting a special mount in an MMO.
Sure.
In Final Fantasy XIV, you can get a fat black chocobo, an obese black chocobo.
Yep.
In different countries, that sweet ride is available as a bonus option. In China, to get a code for one, you have to eat a ton of KFC.
Oh God, what?
Yep. In China, the way it works, you buy a family deal for 4 and eat the whole thing. It's only available if you dine in, and apparently they do enforce the rule that you have to finish it before they'll hand you the code.
Dude.
Here's what's in the meal: 1 double chicken burger.
Hang on, no, I gotta look up images for this.
I'll link you.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Hold on.
Do they take a picture of like the full meal you gotta eat?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, good.
Okay. All right, I need to see this.
Where's the text? There it is. I'm gonna read this out though.
Okay, yeah, read it.
1 double chicken burger. 1 vegan mushroom burger.
Oh.
1 5-piece chicken nuggets.
Okay.
2 original recipe chicken.
Okay.
1 2-piece New Orleans chicken wing.
All right.
1 Old Beijing spicy duck roll. 2 large Pepsis,
Uh
2 peach oolong tea. Nothing so bad, right? That doesn't sound too
Not
bad for
terrible.
4 people.
Yeah.
But that's just for one person. You get
Right.
4 of each item.
Yeah. Yeah.
So each person gets 2 burgers, 1 double chicken, 1 vegan, 4 drinks, as
Uh-huh.
well as the chicken pieces, duck roll, and nugs. And then they take a picture of what it actually looks like.
Um.
And if you manage to eat all of that, you get 1 code. So if you
They're gonna
treat this,
kill people.
so if you treat this like a raid and take 3 friends, that means you have to go back 4 times to get each mount.
It's like now you all go at once. You all order, and then you like take up 3 tables, and then you spend 15 minutes like planning out how you're going to attack it.
That still doesn't change. You're only going to get 1 code.
I know.
So that means you have to do this 4 times. If
Oh,
everyone,
you have to visit separate times.
I mean, is there that, or what are you going to do? Like sit there, fucking do it again and again and again and again?
I mean,
That means
other people.
That means that each person's going to eat 4 double chicken burgers, 4 vegan mushroom burgers,
Yeah.
20 chicken nuggets, 8 original recipe pieces of chicken, 4 2-piece New Orleans chicken wings, 4 Old Beijing, 8 Pepsis, and 8 oolong tea. This is going to kill someone.
The part I dislike the most is I have to drink 2 large Pepsis.
Yeah, that's a lot of soda.
It's a lot of soda, and also can it at least be like cherry Pepsi?
Oh, I'm sure they can. I'm sure they can do that.
Like, come on.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Like, if you said, "Hey, can I have another drink?" They'd be like, "Sure."
Let's get the real Pepsi drink in here.
The only acceptable Pepsi drink in my eyes.
Yeah, so I like the challenge. How much is it? It's
Well, it's in China, so I don't know.
oh, I see. Yeah.
Let's see if
All
they
right.
have a price adjusted for inflation on this. Oh my god, I love looking at these pictures in this article.
It's something else. Yeah, no, not worth it, but it's funny.
I would attempt it with a group of friends.
Right, like that's the thing. That's totally.
well,
I think what they're banking on is just this
but
is
but
dumb.
like I would be like, hey, I'm taking the code.
Right.
Yeah. So this is what someone
Wow.
posted on Reddit: 4 warriors with light, 3 runs. WHM was wiped first, followed by the tank. RDM resurrected WHM, but he denied. Now only BLM is still alive, and we are about to wipe. By the way, RDM said that I am the toughest in the party, so now all the food is on my plate.
Oh no.
Like look at these images, like fucking dude. That's so total for your group of 4. That means you're getting 4 double chicken burgers, 4 vegan mushroom burgers, 4 5-piece nugs, 4 2 original recipe chicken, 4 2-piece New Orleans spicy, 8 Pepsis, 8 oolong tea, and 4 Old Beijing spicy duck roll.
Man,
Dude,
that's a lot.
maybe this is like KFC's way of like trying to kill the Chinese. That's the only thing I can think of.
That's crazy. I love the product placement. Yeah, dealing with KFC doing this, like they could have done something really small, but they went and did this crazy ass thing that I love. KFC was just like, yeah, sure.
Also, on the Chinese forums, there are legit people like saying, like saying shit like KFC Extreme. I am need full DPS. I cheated. I said I was solo, but wiped after eating a roll of chicken and 2 wings. I am done. What about you? Never again. The lady next to me looks as me as if I'm a pig.
Okay, I assume there's no time limit.
Yeah, no. Our team was wiped, failed to pull the roll in the burger apart during phase 2. MT pulled 2 burgers, just leave the Coke load. Focus on the chicken. Anyone at Cuming wants to team up for KFC raid, already found 3. I was wiped at 5% solo. You must distribute the damage from the Pepsi. Don't let it stack. Alright, so
Don't just go in the morning, hang out.
Yeah, as a glutton,
Uh huh.
I'm sure there has to be some type of time limit on this, though. It can't just be like all day.
I mean, I can't. Well, it certainly can't be more than a day.
Yeah, no, like it can't be like. Hold on.
I imagine it has to be within hours at the very
Yeah, it has
least.
to be within like 3 hours. I would bet that would be my thing. Let's see. Amazingly, some players who soloed it. Let's see. All right, so this is how you got to do this though.
Uh huh.
So you want to down. So the thing about this is like sugar helps expand your stomach. So you don't want to like be pulling the pep like just pounding the drinks. You want to do it while you're eating,
Right.
so it can keep just like so it'll help expand your stomach. As for the order you got to do this in, I also you kind of want to take out the vegan burger probably first because that's probably the most filling.
I don't know.
Vegetables sit pretty hard, dude.
Well, right. That's what makes me want to. You'd want to have that at the end, though. Then, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of want to take out the heavy stuff first, though.
Okay. See, I feel like the heavy stuff would discourage me from trying to finish the rest.
Right. Also, I think that I'd probably. That's hard. Oh,
It would make that final climb much harder, but like I would rather do that and then like rather than like distribute that misery over the rest of the meal.
I actually probably would eat. Actually, I probably wouldn't go heavy to light or light to heavy. I'd probably go like favorite or least favorite to favorite.
Yeah, like do stuff that makes you want to eat more
Yeah.
first.
So like I want my middle to suck. So like I'd
Right.
probably open up with like the duck roll and the nugs, eat the vegan burger, and then do the rest. The entire time pounding the Pepsi and the tea. There's somebody who soloed this.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I imagine I wonder what they count for clearing the original recipe chicken. Like does it have to be just as much as possible, like just bone left?
Oh no, it has to be like I'm sure that
There has to be some sort of like gimme
yeah.
room here. I do like the idea that you're proposing, where you just like bring a friend or two, and then you get one code, and then you go back, a week later or something.
Yeah. Also, this guy posted, I went to the toilet. They took away my meal and gave me a new one.
Dude, what? Oh, those fuckers. Oh, that's good though. I love that KFC is on it.
Oh, Chinese
Jesus
KFC
Christ.
boy. Then someone posted this image of just all the boxes of the individual burgers stacked almost to the ceiling. Oh, wow. That's so much KFC.
Yeah, I would save like chicken nuggets because chicken nuggets I like a lot, and they're not necessarily filling. I would want to save that for when I'm like struggling with something, and then I'll be like, oh right, food, yes, I love this.
I want this promotion to come to America.
God.
I,
Well,
this-
that's the thing, is that America would destroy this.
yeah.
I really
even-
think Americans would handle this pretty well.
I know, but even then, I want to see it happen. I want to see this. I want to be like, because I want the phone calls from people I know who play FF14 to like be like, hey,
Let's go do this.
let's go do this, and be like, I'm good, but
Right.
thank you.
I'll sit and watch.
I'll watch.
I mean, yeah, like you come in and help with their code. You're not going to get a code, but you get, you throw down a little bit of money. Maybe you get, a burger and some nuggets.
Yeah, you'll want.
There's no downside, even if you're not getting a code.
Here's probably what you'll have to do for most people is like find your 3 friends who don't play the game.
Yeah.
And be like, hey, I'm paying for a meal for us.
I really need to see how much this costs. I wonder
Yeah,
if
that's.
just throw that down and
Well, it's KFC. They can't be expensive.
yeah.
This is like I'd probably say it's like probably like $40.
At what point is this just a really complicated way of paying $20 for a mount? Like, Jesus.
Oh Lord, I love it. I love it.
All right, sure.
The other news story, and this one I don't have an article for. Forgot to save it. So, hey, so they a couple weeks ago we reported We reported on how Fallout 76 was getting that premium service, and what it gives you is your own private server and unlimited vault space in said server.
Yeah.
Well, it turns out those two things aren't working most of the time.
Great.
But what is working
Mm.
is you get a little thing next to your name that says you're a Fallout First member.
Of course. Yes.
This is causing class warfare.
Is it?
Yes, because you have to pay like $100 for a year of that,
Right.
and or X amount of dollars per month. And what's happening is because the game is still so broken, and most Bethesda players are angry about Fallout First.
Yes.
It is causing people who are not Fallout First members to hunt the Fallout First members in PvP, track them down, and murder them.
Oh my god.
Yeah, because they're like, you should not have bought this. You should have not supported this. So they're hunting them in the game, and there are now search parties for First members. And what's great is there are First members all are like in forums and shit and Reddit being like, First members, we must build like a gated community to keep these fucking monsters out.
The subreddit doesn't talk about it very much. The few times I've popped in, but it's very weird. It's a very weird vibe of like, there's no class warfare. I haven't seen any class warfare. This game's fine. And then I see, like, I'm looking at a thread right now. It says, where is it? Hang on, I just missed it. Yeah. If you hate the game so much, why are you here? Like this weird. Yeah. So they're like, everyone's talking about it's still bad, but then there are people who are in here that are like, this game's great. This game's fantastic. I'm making jokes and memes. And then they're talking about, Blizzard quotes about development. And it's not exactly a popular subreddit right now anyway. There are... Okay, so there's 207,000 subscribers to this community, which seems like a lot, but the highest voted thread I've seen is 1.1K. The rest are hovering in the low hundreds and lower. So, like, yeah, hearing about the Fallout First developments, how that's still not working, and just I feel like that they have not been building up any momentum. I just wonder what that game's going to be. Is that game still doing its thing a year from now?
I think they're going to try and milk as much money out of it as possible, and then shut it down because people don't give a fuck about it for the most part.
Like, I can't tell from looking at this how many people are actually playing and putting in money.
I mean, it's not on Steam, so we can't check population numbers.
Right.
Like, they haven't reported population numbers either.
Yeah.
So it's, like, really hard to tell, what's going on with that.
Yep.
Oh, well. So, well, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. Like, it's... I just love the idea of just, like, this has created this fucking, like... I just love the idea that this has created this just division amongst...
Yeah, that aspect of it is fascinating.
Just the first members be like, let them eat cake.
Like, yeah, I wonder what the conversation between developers was when they were coming up with that idea to start with, because when you read it out, it doesn't sound like a good idea. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, Bethesda's gone to shit. Let's be real here. Bethesda has gone to shit.
I think they were trying something new, something different for them.
As a developer, as a publisher, they're still golden.
Yeah, as a publisher, they're doing great.
They're still great, but like, let's look at Bethesda post Skyrim.
Okay.
So after Skyrim comes out, big fucking hit, big fucking hit. One of the most popular, influential video games ever fucking made, ever.
I can apparently play it on my Alexa.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to try that, but it sounds involved.
Like that shit is on like every. I'm surprised it's not on the phone yet. I'm being real.
right? What's going on there?
So
I would happily play Skyrim
like even
on
on
the
just
go.
like high end phones, like
Yeah,
I'm surprised.
come on.
So, but after that, they have done fucking dick all.
Okay.
All right, they tried to make paid mods a thing
Yeah.
and failed.
Yeah.
Then with Fallout 4, they did make paid mods a thing, and idiots bought it.
Do you know if they made a lot of money with that? Was that
I,
successful?
I mean, it was successful enough they put it in Fallout 76.
Yeah, that's true.
So, so they made paid mods a thing. Fallout 4, amongst most people I know, is relatively a disappointment. They did nothing to improve the technology at all. It's still running on that same Oblivion style engine, same problems, same bugs,
Yep.
same fucking everything, except now it looks prettier and the shooting slightly better.
Yeah, it was it was another Fallout 3, and looked better, and it was a different setting.
But like we're on a new set of consoles,
Yep.
where we are on stronger PCs. This
Yep.
shouldn't. This Bethesda's first big game of the generation. Like this should have been another Oblivion moment of oh shit. This is
Right, especially when you're coming off of like a Morrowind to Oblivion to Fallout 3 to Skyrim.
like this should have been like when I first put Oblivion in my 360, and I was like, oh, this shit is on some next level. Not
Yeah.
oh, this feels like a 360 game, but like prettier,
Sure.
cool, and yeah, okay, so they do that, and then what's the next video game that they actually make? They did Elder Scrolls Online,
Yep.
which
I don't know. I played a little bit of that, and when it started out, it wasn't very good, from what I hear.
mm-hmm.
But they turned it into a decent Skyrim MMO. It's not mind blowing or anything, but if you wanted Skyrim as an MMO experience, that's what that is. So I think they turned it around, but it's not like mind blowing the way the previous games have been.
So they put out Skyrim Special Edition, which actually looks worse than some PC mods.
Really?
In some cases, yes.
Wow.
I mean, look, after people, if you're only a console player, it was a great upgrade. Otherwise,
I see.
They put out Fallout 4 and Skyrim VR.
Right.
And they put out Elder Scrolls Online, which I mean,
yeah.
Take that how you will.
Mm-hmm.
And then they did Fallout 76, which is ass. They did the Elder Scrolls Blades, which is fucking horrible. Like, holy crap, that game is so unbelievably... Like, I was playing on my phone for, like, a week, and, like, I was like, this is horrible. This is...
Okay.
This is so bad. Actually, no, it was not developed by Bethesda. Elder Scrolls Online.
Wait, who developed it?
I'm about to find out.
That's weird. Okay.
Online and Legends. Alright, so Elder Scrolls Online. Oh, it was ZeniMax Online Studios.
Okay.
That was so Bethesda did not dev that, and then as for their terrible, which like even then, like Anthony and I both talked about it, like it's fine, Elder Scrolls Online, but like given the option, we both agree we'd rather play Final Fantasy 14, WoW, or DCOU.
Well, that's the thing. Like, yeah, no, the Elder Scrolls Online is not going to be part of that top tier MMO group. But I think if you're looking for an MMO in something that you're interested in, and Skyrim's your thing, I think that works.
Then you have, their Hearthstone knockoff that no one talks about, no one plays, no one does anything. It's Elder Scrolls Legends, and it was done.
Oh my god!
It was done by Dire Wolf Digital for its first 2 years, and currently is ran by Sparky Pants Studios.
Don't call your damn game Legends. It's might as well just called it Storm.
But Heroes of Thee.
there's yeah.
But no, Sparky. First off, the fact that the game wasn't successful enough to keep its original developer, you know,
Yep.
like, who is playing this shit?
Well, so I don't know.
There's
I
apparently
assume
been 4 expansions for it, so I'm gonna look up Elder Scrolls Legends on Twitch. Yeah, say what you're saying. Go ahead.
yeah, I don't know. There are a lot of people alive. I'll say that.
There are 434 people watching it on Twitch.
Wow.
297 of them are watching one guy.
I wonder if there's. Have you played it?
Yeah, I think it's just worse Hearthstone, in all honesty.
Okay.
Like that. So take Hearthstone, but like also add some mechanics to like where like you have the board is cut in half and you can attack different sides of the board.
Oh,
and,
okay.
and they can't cross over to the other side and stuff like that's or some can, some can't.
Right.
Or
Yep.
like if your left side is open, then that side can be attacked for your main life point area, but not the other side. Just shit like that in general.
Okay. Eh.
Like they use a lot of the same colors as Hearthstone. A lot of like it honestly just feels like a Hearthstone clone.
I see.
Someone went out, they cloned Hearthstone. Versus you look at the numbers Hearthstone's pulling right now, as it's always one of the most big boys on Twitch almost every single day.
It's the card game, right?
Yeah, it is the big card game. It currently has 51,000.1 people watching it right now.
Yep.
And the number one, yeah, and like the people who are watching the video version of this should know that like just by seeing the couple minutes of gameplay here, like man, Hearthstone looks more cheery and fun and dynamic, and that's because it is.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, like what the fuck has Bethesda done? In all honesty, like what have you done for me lately?
So like they had a real good run of just innovating on open world games.
Like from 96 to 2000,
8 or 10.
I'll call the cutoff 7,
7 or 10.
But like we'll say 11 because Skyrim came out in 11.
Oh, right, 11. Yep. 11, yeah.
So from like 96 to 11, like they were like, they were making these games that were fucking incredible. That very few people, that no one else made their style for sure, besides like Obsidian, and then, but then just like, did the success just kill them?
Well,
I
think what
is that what happened?
Let me ask you this: do you think that what they did popularized that concept of the open world to explore and discover, and make that started happening in more games, and now you go back to try, like, Bethesda has nothing to differentiate itself with, and everyone's not only doing it but doing it better?
I think that they made those investments real early. Like they made those investments real early in that tech with Oblivion and before that Morrowind, and they were doing, and even Daggerfall.
Yeah.
And then like they kept riding that same tech and all that shit, and everyone else caught up, and they have just been sitting around on their laurels. Like that's what it feels like. Because like you look at The Witcher, that caught up in almost every single way. You look at the outer worlds, and like this is like this game is not nearly as buggy or glitchy, but just as big as any one of those style of games. And you're like, well, how'd you do that? And it's like, well, we made a new engine and fucking really went into it and really tried to make it as polished as possible.
Yeah, it also helps that Outer Worlds is not like one big, expansive open world.
True. It has the advantage that Mass Effect had, but like,
yes.
But like even then though, like it's very similar style of game, and those worlds are fairly large.
Well, that's the thing. Again, like other games have been doing the open world thing now more, and it's not like a glitchy mess.
But you can't pick up all the wheels of cheese and put them in one house.
I mean, yeah.
Like like
If that's the one hook that they've got now,
that's how they're doing it.
which I don't know. I think Breath of the Wild has been doing stuff like that now.
Yeah,
Or had
no,
been for a while.
yeah, like Zelda's doing that. Once again, more polished, more interesting.
Yep. And I think they are looking to try and do something else, and maybe Fallout 76 was an attempt at that. If it was, it didn't work. So I wonder what the direction is for Bethesda now, because they're working on a new Elder Scrolls, which that whole thing is a big, expansive open world to run around in. There are people that are coming up now that are doing that better than they have been doing it.
Yeah, and they're working on that Starfield, Star something.
Right. Yep. Starlink, or is that Starfield?
I think it's Starfield.
I think Starlink was the thing that came out for this. What was it? It had Star Fox in it, right? Like Star Fox was a
no. Yeah, that was Starlink. Yeah, that was Starlink.
Okay, so Starfield I think is the Bethesda game, but yeah, I'm curious to see where they go with this, because right now, like, I don't know if you go any higher continuing to try and expand on that, unless they come up with some good ideas.
Which they might.
I think they might. If they can't find a way to expand, they're gonna have to try and find a way to make something new.
Well, no, they're just gonna publish other people's games that are way better than theirs.
Well, that's also an option.
Like
they can just become a publisher.
Yeah, because hold on, I'm gonna.
I mean, if we learned anything from Steam and Epic, you can, you can make good games. You can continue making good games, but if you found a way to make more money doing something else,
Godspeed.
Maybe it's better to go do the thing with more money.
Make Fortnite. There you go. Still can't. Still, I remember seeing the first. Like, I was at the first live demo they did at PAX of that game.
Yep.
First off, couldn't believe it actually came out 7 years later.
Right.
Second off, what it became.
Well, that's the thing. I will always think back on that is I remember Fortnite for I think years. As a concept was it's that thing Cliffy B is working on that is sort of inspired by Minecraft. It doesn't sound appealing, but it's still in development.
And then Cliffy B retired.
Yep, right. And they kept going, and Fortnite was just the name of a game that's you just shrugged off. That doesn't seem like it's going to be much of anything. And then, wow, Battlegrounds is great. We were inspired by that, and so we decided to do a battle royale. Oh my God! Look at this money. It's amazing, but helps it had a style all its own for sure. And then obviously the creating really, really helped. I miss being able to spawn on a gigantic map and then it's so big that I don't see anyone, so I can just scavenge for stuff in peace and then get in a car and drive.
Right.
The Fortnite maps are too small. The Apex Legends maps are really contained.
I love Apex. Apex is probably... Although, from what it sounds like, you probably like the Call of Duty one.
Really?
Yeah. That one...
Okay.
Yeah, because they have the vehicles and shit like that as well.
Okay.
I like the Call of Duty one because I made my own little bunker with claymores. Because I found claymores and a sniper rifle, and I was in the middle of the map, and I was like, alright, we're going to set this down, and make my own little bunker.
Yep. Cool.
So, yeah. Yeah, because it just looks like... Because you look at their development list, and it's okay, Skyrim, bunch of ports, Fallout 4, Fallout 76, and then Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6, both of which...
Yeah. We'll see. I'm curious to see where they go from here, because let me tell you, they are in need of a shot in the arm.
Yeah, because CJ Project Red, come to eat the lunch.
Yep.
The Obsidian Entertainment, after spending 15 years wandering in the desert. Finally, no publisher has been dicked more than Obsidian, or no developer that is
Right.
still around at least has been dicked as much as this studio. Okay, let's talk about this for a sec. First off, before they were Obsidian, they were Black Isle Studios.
Okay.
They made Fallout 1, Fallout 2, Planescape Torment, Icewind Dale, Icewind Dale 2, and Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance, and published all the other Baldur's Gate games. They had a bunch of projects that were canceled when they shuttered. Or not when they shuttered, but like when, they went mostly defunct and in 2003.
Yep.
You can actually still go to their website via the Wayback Machine. Funnily enough.
Nice.
Anyway, they were based out of Irvine, California. They made named after the Black Isle in Scotland. They're mostly famous for their first two games. Also received success with Icewind Dale and Baldur's Gate. In 1999, IGN's RPG Vault gave it the award for Developer of the Year. However, Interplay closure, although leading to the closure due to Interplay's financial difficulties, would worsen, losing them to cancel a bunch of games, release Icewind Dale 2, and then on December 8, 2003, in the midst of serious financial difficulties, Interplay laid off the entire studio, which was the result of the cancellation of Baldur's Gate 3. And the original Fallout 3.
Right.
That was being developed.
Man.
So, thanks to Interplay dying,
Yep.
otherwise Van Buren, as the original Fallout 3 was going to be called.
Okay.
So, in May 2007, a tech demo was leaked on the internet. Features funeral songs released on 2001. It showed. So yeah, they had a working demo of that. Fallout 3 does not follow the storyline of the canceled project, but an interview revealed aspects from Van Buren would make an appearance in Fallout New Vegas. So yeah.
Okay.
Bethesda bought that license, and well, there you go. But okay, so they get dicked over on that, and then they go make Obsidian. Alright, so they go make early projects included Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 3.
Yep.
At the time, parent companies, including the 5 founders, were invested $100 to $125,000 in their new company. When choosing the name, they prepared a short list, including Scorched Earth and Three Clown Software. The team eventually chose City, which they thought was strong, memorable, and felt similar to the name of their old studio. So they approached EA, but didn't result in a project. Talk about getting lucky, as far as I'm concerned.
Right.
Fucking EA, and it's a murdering of studios and IPs.
There's another story you shared with me earlier this week that I'll talk about at some point here.
Yeah, so Obsidian was given 15 months to develop the Sith Lords, the Knights of the Old Republic 2, and was set for holiday 2004 release. LucasArts gave studio extension in 2005 before shifting it back to holiday 2004 before E3. LucasArts did dispatch members of its own staff to help the game out. A number of features wound up being cut due to time constraints due to the move deadline. Obsidian also did not have enough time to polish the game, and the Sith Lord suffered crashes and other technical issues. Despite its issues, the Sith Lord was received positive critical reception. The cut features were restored by modders who began their efforts in 2009 and finished in 2012. So, first example of being fucked by a publisher.
Yeah, right.
Let's continue.
Okay.
So, from the beginning of the studio's goal was to be able to develop multiple projects at the start. After they finished the Sith Lords, they expanded to a team to 20 employees and expanded to 12. Then in 2004, expanded to 27, 18 from Black Isle, and others from Blizzard, EA, etc. So they also, Atari went to them to create a sequel to Neverwinter Nights. It began in 2005. Obsidian began the lead development while BioWare provided technical assistance. While they did the game, the team side grew to about 50 people. The team was given sufficient time for the game development. That actually came out and had positive reception with no publisher blowback.
Okay.
But publisher blowback time.
All right.
So this is the story that you and I discussed when we were talking about a scoring system for reviews.
Oh, right, yes.
Yeah, these are the boys who were most famous for that.
Right.
Fallout New Vegas is a very beloved game. In fact, amongst most RPG fans, it's probably the best in the Fallout series.
Right.
So, at the time, they developed Fallout New Vegas. They were contacted by Bethesda about working on a Star Trek game that never gained traction. But after Bethesda released Fallout 3 and began to shift focus towards the Elder Scrolls series, it approached Obsidian with the idea of having the latter studio do another Fallout game. As several of Obsidian's founders had worked on the franchise while at Black Isle, Obsidian looked at fan requests, which led to New Vegas giving a more prominent role in the game's factions. The concept was pitched to Bethesda. It was immediately approved. Development of New Vegas began after the cancel of Aliens Crucible, which I'll get to that one in a minute. Mm-hmm. It received positive reviews, with some critics saying the game's quality exceeded the standard of Fallout 3. As the case was with the Sith Lords, however, the development team did not thoroughly assess New Vegas for bugs and glitches. Some players were unable to play the game due to constant crashes. The game was later patched and fixed. Obsidian was considered a learning experience, the studio's first AAA game, and it taught how to manage quality assurance.
Right.
It was also the famous game where, to get their bonuses and to have to be able to stay in business, they needed to hit an 85 or higher on Metacritic. They hit an 84.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Then they were developing an Aliens game for Sega. Sega canceled the project, but they were interested in working with Obsidian to develop another project. That game would go on to be Alpha Protocol.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yep. Continuing on, 2012 and onward. In 2009, they were contacted by South Park to make the South Park game.
Yes.
Funding was originally provided by Viacom. Obsidian was worried the project, so shortly the game was being published by THQ and Viacom. Shortly after THQ took over, they entered a financial crisis, going bankrupt in late 2011. Obsidian was worried the project was canceled. They too would face severe financial difficulties. Eventually, Ubisoft acquired the game, which was released under South Park: The Stick of Truth in March. In mid-2014, the studio announced Armored Warfare, a tank game from My.com. Basically, this was another one of these cases. While they managed to complete Stick of Truth, the company faced many financial issues. The studio received only a small kill fee for their work on North Carolina. They didn't get their bonus for Fallout 76, as mentioned. The director of New Vegas proposed a small Kickstarter for the next game. The debates ended on whether or not they were going to do that when they saw Double Fine Adventure launched to huge success. And the Kickstarter campaign for Pillars of Eternity was launched in September, with the name being Project Eternity, requesting $1.4 million. They'd go on to work on that, put out Pillars of Eternity 2, Tyranny, Pathfinder, until Microsoft bought them last year, and they put out The Outer Worlds.
Okay.
This company has been dicked by publishers a lot, basically.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Man, I'm happy for them.
Yeah,
they made a hell of a game.
They did make a hell of a game. Like they made multiple hell of a games. Stick of Truth was great.
Yeah, that was a good game.
Well, not as good as the original. KOTOR 2, good game as well.
Well, yeah.
So yeah. Anyway.
Jesus.
All right. So next up is hey. Guess what?
What?
They dropped the trademark for skating coming back, homie.
Damn it!
No one owns that trademark now. It's that's dead.
So how does that work? So like no one owns the trademark, but EA still owns the rights to it, right?
Um, yeah, basically.
So like as long as they're hanging on to it, no one can make anything with it.
And unless they go to EA and say, "Hey, can we do this?"
Which EA, being EA, would be like, no, probably. Uh, they don't know what they have. Like I've been watching,
They don't know what
God,
they have in a lot of cases.
they in a lot of cases
They
for
don't.
sure.
They have Dead Space. They have Burnout. They got
Yep.
Mirror's Edge. Well, okay, they tried a lot on Mirror's Edge, but they got Dead Space. They got Burnout.
They got a game out on Mirror's Edge. They got another game out of Mirror's Edge.
and it wasn't very good.
Well, so yeah, I don't know what the full story with that is. But like just saying Skate and Burnout alone, those two things, those two franchises have meant a lot to me. And to see Burnout Paradise be the success that it was, that it deserved a remaster, and they won't make another one.
Like, they have, like, dude, look at these franchises. Like, they have Mass Effect.
Yeah.
They have Mass Effect, Command and Conquer, Medal of Honor, Titanfall, Dragon Age. They currently have the rights to Star Wars. They have all the sports games rights, and what are they going to do with it? Like nothing.
So okay, so Star Wars, they're putting a lot of their concentration into right now because that's where it's at right now. But also, like they're not doing the best with that. They're putting out
If
the
they
new Star Wars game,
if they fuck up, look, I'm telling you what it is. If they fuck up another Star Wars game, it's Disney's taking the rights away.
right?
That's what's happening there. It's if Jedi Fallen Order is not at least in the 80s and free of controversy, then that shit's gonna go to someone else.
Which like all the few signs I've seen of it say that game's gonna be fine.
Yeah,
But
it looks real good.
we'll see. Yeah, looks good. But you know, there are plenty of, and then they own the rights to sports games where they get the rights to use official teams, but that gives them the ability to churn them out yearly and then do jack shit with them.
Yep.
They've been trying to do single player stuff with it to make it a little more interesting, but like,
they've also been trying to not do anything worthwhile and just feed into Ultimate Team microtransactions.
right. Like at the end of the day, they put the effort into the thing that's going to give them more money to do more things.
Yeah. Let's see. Apparently, the Need for Speed is decent.
I hear it's okay. But like it hasn't recovered from like Hot Pursuit highs.
Like Battlefield is the only franchise of theirs that can consistently be put out and do great. And like maybe we'll see if Respawn gets another Titanfall.
They should, right?
I mean, well, because the thing is Apex is doing so well that they've like come out and said like, we may have to wait a minute before.
Well,
Titanfall
if they have Apex, like honestly, I'd rather they just put the time into Apex. I like Titanfall. But,
I would prefer a Titanfall 3, but I understand.
Right. Like yeah, exactly. So I don't know. They're putting work into Apex Legends, and it sounds decent enough for a smaller publisher. But when you're EA and you're just this massive publisher that owns the rights to a bunch of stuff, to see them dropping the ball on the skate games, which were fantastic skating games, they were perfect for the time. For like now, when there's hardly any skating games, and there's totally an audience there that wants to play a good goddamn skating game. And there's nothing. Tony Hawk Pro Skater killed itself.
Yeah.
Like there's no competition even.
Well, they own let's be real. They own BioWare, Criterion, Chilongo, DICE, EA Baton Rouge, EA Mobile, EA Montreal, EA Tiburon, EA Romania, EA Vancouver, Frostbite Labs, Ghost Games, Maxis, Motive Studios, PopCap, Respawn, Spearhead, and Uprise.
Ugh.
And formally, it literally looks like a video game graveyard. Like, you look in the list here of former Blizzard or former EA developers.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
Yep.
You know,
Yep. And it's developed that reputation with good reason. But and the thing is, they still put out some good games, and they put out games that still make them money, so they're going to keep going. But it's just a shame to watch like notable franchises that have done really good stuff get just dropped and intended to be forgotten by EA, but not forgotten by anyone else.
yep.
There is a willing audience there to pay money to. They would love a new Paradise on new hardware where they can create a larger world, and especially with a more social environment thanks to the development of Twitch and all that. Like Skate 3 was the social. That was the big thing about Skate 3 was it was trying to be more social, but it was before the like Twitch community really blew up the way it did. Had Skate 3 come out now, I think it would be a bigger deal.
Yeah, probably.
But it just came out early. A Skate 4 that was about building your skate team again and sharing videos online and having Twitch interaction and things like that. There is totally an audience that would jump on that, but they just don't know what they have. Skating's blowing up again with everyone having phones in their pockets or cameras in their pockets. They can just film anything. I just saw the most recent Thrasher video where they took over this spot in LA and they got a pro skater to dress up as Walking Phoenix Joker to jump over a car with a crowd like slamming skateboards on the car. It was badass. It was great. Like skateboarding is as exciting as it was, years ago, and there's something to capitalize on there. They don't know. And the same with Burnout. They have something there. They'd rather put it in Need for Speed. I don't know what Need for Speed stands for anymore. I guess I never really have, like it stands Underground 2.
It stands for money.
Well, like it stands for this is their car game. I guess it's arcade.
It stands for this is a franchise that is well known.
Yes.
That mom and dad know.
Right.
That will buy the racing game and it'll make them money.
Like, I don't like. There's nothing I go to Need for Speed for as someone who is in the know about games and what racing games have been. Like when I look at my current options, I'm looking at Forza.
Right. But what I'm telling you is that like but what if you own a PlayStation? Like
then I'm gonna buy the remaster Burnout Paradise.
Right, as people or Gran Turismo.
Again, people that are in the know. Yeah. I'm not a Gran Turismo person, but if you want like your realistic car game, like absolutely Gran Turismo is the way to go.
But like let's see. Let's look up. Now I know VG charts is not the most accurate, but let's look up like Burnout sales.
Sure.
Versus like Need for Speed.
Well, yeah.
And this is why. I mean, this is why. So, well, they actually do not have the sales numbers on these. It looks like.
Oh, weird. I think it's a safe bet to say Need for Speed sells a lot more.
Probably, but
despite being lesser games.
Yeah, in most cases, yes. I'm gonna try and Google it still, but
Yeah, keep going. It strikes me like when Need for Speed meant the most to me, it was when they leaned hard into customizing your car to have crazy ass lights in an open world. Because like Burnout doesn't do that stuff. Forza's been doing a lot of that customizing stuff. They've been taking care of that aspect of the racing scene. But what I've seen is they've been trying to working on stories, which I don't know. I've never cared about. I just don't know what it is, what it stands for anymore to the player. I don't know what I need. This kind of racing game. Oh, you should get Need for Speed. I just don't think there's anything there.
Yeah, well, so I'm going to. I pulled an article up here that After the fall of Acclaim in 2004, Burnout 3 Takedown, all sequence entries were published by EA.
Yep.
This wasn't going to be. This wasn't always going to be the case, however, with the studio and publisher having previously fallen out over creative differences over a skateboarding game.
All right.
Oh
Yeah.
wow! Wow. Burnout 3 was only made after EA came back to the studio and made the game happen with the condition that EA would have no say in the creative process. I like that.
Yeah.
If I was the Titanfall guys, that's exactly what I would be saying to them.
Right.
We will just like all right, so they went on, made a great game, and thanks to a little bit of EA marketing money, it was highly adored, sold over 2.3 million copies, and it won 2 magazines, even ranked them as Game of the Year, and this is in a year that included GTA San Andreas. It topped the sales charts, the game hit the top 10 for both Xbox and PS2, and it's considered a highlight and triumph for not only series but arcade racing games in general. They followed up with Burnout's Revenge, which is decidedly a different direction, grittier aesthetic, post takedown mechanic. He didn't just want to create Burnout 3. The creators didn't just want to make Burnout 3 again, basically. So, between Burnout Revenge, a lot of players tried and chaffing went full Michael Bay and the slight detriment of skill. Their true Fallout Burnout Paradise, what EA used Criterion's name. They were busy creating Paradise, so EA UK took the reins on the one and only game since the original Burnout to ditch the lauded Crash mode. Among other developments, such as traffic checking, online multiplayer, and racing sport, the game saw a noticeable drop in critical reception, which tends to happen when games are pushed out the door. But that was Burnout Dominator, sorry.
Oh.
The last official release, aside from the App Store Crash spin-off, is Burnout Paradise, which came out of Alex Ward wanting to bring a little bit of Crackdown into the Burnout series. The concept took the form of a racing game without tracks and a spider web of roads, being an open world, which player can explore at their leisure and take events in the city when they choose. The tiny world of Paradise is a bit cute 10 years later, releasing in the same year as games, the remake releasing in the same year as games like Forza Horizon 4. Despite the lack of any faith from EA, next to the Need for Speed series, Burnout Paradise rocketed to the top of sales charts, selling over 1 million copies within 3 months of release and provide the foundation upon which racing games are being built until this day. While it didn't hit the heights of Takedown, Paradise managed a Metacritic within the 80s, depending on which platform you looked at, and took many Best Driving Games awards. Given the heights and acclaims that EA Studio had brought themselves, it almost seems like Burnout just stalled for no reason. The fact that EA could re-release the last entry in the series 10 years after Burnout Paradise remastered, and critics found that it had done very little to dull the adrenaline the game embodied, and to the passion and the creativity of the team. The series lives on with Need for Speed and Forza Horizon. So what gives? Nothing gave at all. Criterion was handed the keys to a new ride, which EA had happily given them when Criterion developed Need for Speed Hot Pursuit and 2012's Need for Speed Most Wanted. Both sold pretty well and got decent critical reception, but the team was a bit hamstrung by the expectations of Need for Speed. The heart just wasn't in the games anymore, and the fast action definitely wasn't either. Criterion slipped back into the shadows as their brand and baby was thrown aside, eventually leaving the studio creator and director Alex Ward to publicly put on Twitter that the studio was moving away from racing games. 4 months later, in 2013, 80% of the staff was moved to Ghost Games to work on Need for Speed, leaving a tiny 17-person team to be the shell team we know as Criterion, helping develop the vehicle segments in games for DICE.
Sad. I just, this could have gone a different way.
Fuck this publisher. Fucking honestly. Fucking EA is a cancer of the game industry.
That's the thing, is I feel like a lot of these games are, they get, as long as they get their money from EA and then get the freedom to do what they want with it, then they'll be fine. Like
Fucking,
they could be doing this elsewhere
I,
as well.
I hope that even if Fallen Order is an amazing game, that those Star Wars rights go to anyone else. Anyone
Right.
else. Honestly, I hope they. Honestly, what I heard is Microsoft tried to make a run at them.
That'd be interesting.
Oh,
I
could
don't
you
know.
imagine locked to the Xbox store? All Star Wars
Right.
games? Madness.
That would be a deal for them.
But no, like,
But
let's look at this fucking graveyard. Okay, let's look at this EA grave. First off, they published Alice. We're never getting another one of those. They published Brutal Legend. Never again.
yep.
Fucking Crisis. Maybe. Deathspank. Never again. Fucking Kingdoms of Amalur. They didn't. Never again. Rock Band. Well, we got one, so
Right.
we're never getting another Shadows of the Damned. We're
Oh,
probably
yeah.
never getting another Syndicate.
Yeah.
You know. Like, I'm
I
just
mean, a
gonna-
lot of these aren't don't need sequels or anything like that, but
Studio. I like how I just type in EA Graveyard and and it's just first list, a comprehensive list of studio/game series that EA has killed.
yep.
Maxis, Mythic, Bullfrog, Origin, Westwood, DreamWorks Interactive, Phenomic, Black Box, Pandemic.
Black Box. Pandemic.
Yep, Pandemic.
I forgot about Pandemic.
They made those first two Star Wars Battlefronts. Man, they could have been useful when making the new ones.
God damn it.
Fucking, oh my god! Just I'm so like Bullfrog, who made was like made Populous and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
Westwood, who's famous for their early RPGs, Origin Systems, including Ultima Online, which was like the first big MMO. New FX, who made NBA Street. Pandemic, who made the Battlezone 2, Destroy All Humans, Full Spectrum Warrior, Mercenaries, Star Wars Battlefront.
Mercenaries.
That was a fun game at the time.
Yeah.
Playfish, Black Box, DreamWorks Interactive,
Yep.
Phenomic, who is famous for Ultima, Lord of Ultima, and Command and Conquer.
Okay.
They killed the Medal of Honor team.
Mm-hmm.
They killed Mythic Entertainment.
Yep.
They killed the Maxis and the Sims team. They killed EA Salt Lake. So that's a fun one. They killed Visceral
Yep.
Games, Dead Space, The Simpsons game, Lord of the
God
Rings
damn,
games.
that's right.
Yeah. Yep. There you go.
Yep.
The Butcher.
So that continues on. I hope that whoever wants to make a new skate game just gets those guys from the barracks who were in the skate games, and they make a new skate game, but just call it something different.
The Burnout guys went on to make their own studio, but like it's lacking that AAA polish. But the game is good. Dangerous Driving.
Dangerous Driving?
Yeah. Dangerous Driving.
Because I remember some of those guys were trying to create a game, but it was just a crash mode.
They did. I forget what it's called, but they made that. But no, they made a racing game as well.
Okay, as long as they made a racing game along with it.
Just came out this year.
Okay, so I knew I had heard of it, but yeah. So, okay. But I just didn't catch it because it's not called Burnout.
Alright, so I got the next two news stories.
Okay.
So Jeff Kaplan, head of the Overwatch team, one of
Yes.
the OG developers on World of Warcraft. In fact, that was his first job at Blizzard, quest designer for WoW.
All right.
Wants Blitzchung's punishment reduced more or eliminated.
Okay.
When Hearthstone Grandmaster Blitzchung called for liberation of Hong Kong during a post-match interview in October, Blizzard's reaction was harsh. We know this. One surprising critic, however, is Blizzard's own Jeff Kaplan. The high-profile director of the Overwatch team told the Washington Post, quote, "I'm obviously a huge supporter of free speech. It's something that's very important to me. It got to me personally. I think the punishment was too harsh. and I was greatly relieved when they gave his money back. I think this was very important. There was always a group. There was always a group of us involved in deciding what punishment should be, and we should be we would heavily devil's advocate every part of the decision. So I was actually shocked that such a harsh penalty was levied. He said, yeah.
Yep.
Another quote is, "I think as individuals, we all have different feelings about what happened in regards to the Hearthstone tournament and Blitzchung. There's a lot of very different reactions among all of us."
Right. I think, regardless of his position on it, I don't think it's going to change what Blizzard Activision's decision's going to be.
Yeah, and something that was actually pointed out to me is Blizzard actually doesn't publish their own games in China.
Oh, who does?
Tencent.
Oh, of course they do.
So this could have been a thing where, someone who owns, 5% of their company, it's not a lot, but some part of them went, and, who they do business with, be like, hey, dudes, hey, you actively made our job way harder.
Sure.
With, so maybe that's an thing. But still, more positive vibes from the Overwatch.
Yeah,
Blizzard.
always happy to hear developers kind of speak their mind on the subject, because I know it's not them that's enforcing any of this. They're just trying to make a good game.
Right, exactly. So, good on him for that.
Yeah,
I'm very happy. In our last news story, PlayStation 5 was the second best-selling home console ever, as we went over last week. But they said they want PS4 players to move to PS5 faster than usual.
all right.
So they said, referencing the success of PS4 and about leveraging a strong brand in next gen, a Mr. Jim Ryan says the company's main goal is to move the community forward. These are gamers who are networked and sticky and engaged and passionate about PlayStation.
Okay.
Are you passionate about PlayStation?
Sure. I have a
sticky?
PlayStation in front of me.
Are you sticky and engaged?
Yes. No, for reasons I don't think they believe, but
Oh, God. As we move towards the next generation in 2020, one of our tasks, probably our main task, is to take the community and transition it from PS4 to PS5 at a scale and pace that we never delivered on before. It's unclear how Sony plans to move players if the impact we stated of releasing games cross-platform. He went out to point the developers and publishers have given good feedback on PS5 development tools, something that has a particular issue with the PS3. One thing that makes me particularly optimistic is that we're hearing from developers and publishers in which the ease they're able to get the code running on PS5 in a way beyond any experience we've had on any other PlayStation. Also, we talked about how they reshuffled their management. I mean, here's the thing. Is obviously, you and I are the type who, day one, we're going to be out there fucking, hey, give me the box.
Yep.
Give me the box so I can play the thing.
Right.
But how is that going to go for the rest of everyone? Of course, that's what I'm wondering.
Exactly. Right.
They have to have something killer at launch lined up, right?
They have to.
One
game.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the original Xbox is a perfect case for that. One game can, completely
Can sell everything.
Yeah, one game can completely get your platform up and running.
And I'll buy I'll buy Splashdown to fill out my game catalog after that.
Right.
I only need the one game to sell me on a console.
Yeah, that's and I feel that's true of every console. Everyone's like, I'm waiting for a live right. No, bitch, you're waiting for the game. And everyone has the game.
Yep.
That gets them to jump over, but it's just a matter of when and what.
And that's what's interesting about Xbox and Sony right now ramping up, as we know they each own various developers. They're all in development on something. We don't know what.
Yeah, I mean, we know Microsoft to Halo's.
Halo's being worked on. We don't know much about that right now.
We're gonna get Halo and Forza for sure. Sony, we know nothing.
Nothing.
We know nothing.
Yep.
And looking at their studios that have put out games recently, so it's not Insomniac or Sony Santa Monica. It could be the
Right.
Killzone guys. It could be. They could have talked with Capcom to get another Street Fighter deal going.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they could have been talking with the Bloodborne guys. Apparently, Blue Point Interactive is working on some type of game. Who knows?
Okay.
So
Yeah, no, we'll see.
no comments this week. Sad.
All right. Yeah.
Sad.
Feel free to send in stuff if you want to say stuff. We'll read it.
Yeah. You want to send us energy drinks? We'll drink those.
So, okay. You in the game you've probably seen this already, but in Death Stranding,
Monster
you
Hunter,
drink
or,
monster energy drinks.
Yes.
Not only in the private room, but you carry a flask around that is full of nothing but monster energy drink, and it refills with when it comes in contact with moisture. But when you go to drink, like nonstop, it's not like it changes to water when it refills. Like apparently, it just refills monster energy drink.
Okay.
It's the green kind. I don't know if you have a preference. There's a green. There's a blue. There's an Ultra Zero. That's the one I like. But I haven't had Monster in a good long while anyway.
I don't like Monster. Period. So
that's fair. Also, like Norman Reedus just downs it. He like takes a big gulp and then he takes a bigger gulp and leans back to the point where his feet come off the ground. He's like, good. Downing that all in one go will be good for me. All right, let's go.
Do you think he actually did that for the mocap?
That would be interesting. I like the idea. There's a couple possibilities. Like one, no, come on. Two, he did it because it'd be fun. Three, Kojima made him do it.
That's what I like to think of.
That's what I like to think. I don't think it's true, but that's what I like to imagine.
That's what I want. That's what I want to be true.
Yep.
In my mind, that's what he did. Like, look, Aretus, you're gonna pound these 10 monsters for the 10 different takes. You're gonna like it.
It's like, I gotta do this in spurts here. I can't. No, you have to do it. You have to do it in one. And he got him down to 2, and Kojima was like, fine.
There you go.
You're not extreme enough. But we'll make
Should have
that work.
kept David Hayter.
Right. I don't know. Norman Reedus has a real good growly voice.
That's good. That's good. I don't know. Like, Kojima tried to replace David Hayter for all those years, and I'm just like, dude.
Yeah, no, he shouldn't have. I think David Hayter's voice is fantastic.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I talked to his mom at work once.
Okay. Wow.
I'm not kidding. I saw a Miss Hayter, and I jokingly said hi in relation to David Hayter. And he's like, yes, that's my son. And I'm like, wait, like the Metal Gear X-Men guy? And then she's like, yeah, absolutely. And I'm like yeah. So
That's cool.
I met David Hayter's mom at work.
What a weird thing. It's funny, the strands that we make in life.
And that's where we're going to close this podcast on. There's no going up from that segue.
Be excellent to each other, everyone. Make strands, connections. We're all in this together.
Do be excellent to each other, everyone. We love y'all. We'll be back next week.
Yes.
Yeah, that'll be all.
Yes. Have a good week, everyone.
Mm-hmm.